Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is a stock chart update. We're going to do an update on the 4 stocks today: Dang, QIHU 360, Melco Crown Entertainment, and YOKU.end. All right, we're going to start off with Dang. E-commerce Dang is the name of it. What a name. I don't know how they name these companies, but I'm sure it means something in Chinese that I am not aware of. All right, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because we talked about this as a trade idea on Sunday and then again on Monday night. The trade idea did not materialize. We were looking to get long. It missed our entry literally by a penny, and the stock has done nothing. Pullback has done nothing the last few days. I'm basically neutral right now. I'm not looking to get into a trade or not, although the move is bullish to me. It looks bullish, but I don't see an entry that I'm looking for. Again, I think we've had one primary wave up and a second primary pullback is my read on it from a ground zero back down here. When is that? November 2012. So we'll see. You know, again, once you get into this corrective after you have a big impulsive move, this could simply be still more part of a complex correction. You know, I'm assuming that this is the correction here. It's definitely corrected enough, but it could be something more complex right now. I'm playing it and looking at it as if it's impulsive. Okay, let's move on to QIHU 360. All right, QIHU 360. Again, last time we talked about this, we talked about Dang on the 17th and 18th in July. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was Monday, Tuesday, but I'd done a review of Dang several weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. QIHU, it was August 10th. So, today's 21st. So 11 days ago is when we did the review on it. And again, here, I think we've got 5 waves up in QIHU 360. In here, I'm looking for this to correct. I think we've got an ABC, but again, this choppiness, as I talked about in the video, this choppiness looks like it's corrective to me. So we could have some kind of corrective channel going on here. And I'm looking at my notes overlapping. Right now, my scenario, as I mentioned last time, I'm really not changing off that scenario. I'm thinking that we've got this, you know, it did this, you know, ABC down, and now this choppiness in this channel, and so I'm looking for this move, and then my thinking is that we're going to head down. Now that's just the way it looks to me looking at this, but it could be, you know, chopping in here and then break up too. I mean, it's always possible. And then I had this trend line or neckline, I'm going to call it, in here, a support line that almost gives this a, you know, a little bit of a head and shoulder and possible, you know, shoulder scenario. Again, that's just another scenario that you have to sit back and entertain. You have to look at it and say, well, if this starts to break down, that could be a scenario. So right now, when was the last time I said on the 10th? So when was the 10th? Right in here. Okay, so it would have been right before this day, so right after this day in here. So what we've done is we've rallied up. It hasn't been strong. We haven't taken out this high. I mean, given how strong the market's been, you know, it hasn't pushed to new highs here. The moving averages are somewhat aligned in here. 10 above the 21, above the 55, above the 233 day. So that's bullish. But again, this choppiness makes me wary. All right, that's QIHU. We'll have to just continue to watch QIHU 360. All right, the next one is Melco Crown Entertainment. Okay, and Melco again looks like it's trending down. This one also looks like it's done a big 5-wave impulse move to the upside in here. Okay, I'm calling this one. Let's take this back down from this ground zero point here. I think we've got 5 major moves up, and I walked through that on the last video on August 11th, so 10 days ago. And then at that time, I talked you through what I talked about, this big complex correction in here, okay? And so by complex, I mean, I think we had a flat correction, which was the first correction, and then we ended up getting this connective you know, connecting X, so we have a WX. Now I think we're in a zigzag, okay, of some kind. And so we're watching to see how this plays out. Now, the real interesting thing is, you know, this is still just consolidating in here. It almost looks like it wants to break down and continue further. You know, my take on this is, again, if we do a projection of A, come back to the end of B, I think we could be down here to below 26 at a minimum for the move. And I think the weekly chart that we looked at said there was possibility for even a little bit lower. I don't see any reason to change that perspective that I had from the video on August 11th. So we're going to stay with that right now. It's trending down, and it hasn't tried to turn up. Okay, that's Melco. The next one is YOKU.end. Okay, and YOKU.end, the last time we talked about this was on August 14th, which I think was right, where is that? Wasn't that long ago. It was right here. I think it was right in here. Here we go. So we're literally right at the peak. And so, you know, I was thinking that we're coming off of a intermediate wave 2 down. Let's see if I can back this up. This got messy in this pullback after the initial public offering, and then, you know, pull back down here. I'm thinking that we've got ground zero right in here, and that we won 2. And because this can't overlap this one, that this has got to be some kind of wave within a primary 3. So I'm calling it intermediate wave 1 and intermediate wave 2. And so therefore we should be working in intermediate wave 3 to higher, unless there's still some complex corrective thing that's going on. And again, you know, you never know until it shows itself. Right now, this looked like a flat. And I call it a flat because when you make the first move down with A, it's a 3-wave move, and then B goes all the way back to the beginning of A, and many times it'll go beyond the beginning of A, which it did here slightly. Then you get 5 waves down in C, okay? That should complete the correction. So that's where I'm calling this wave 2. Now we've got this 1, 2, and now we're starting off in minor wave 3. Well, we got this 1, and actually I think the last time I said, I was kind of looking at, you see this V-shaped action here? What I was looking at was this V-shaped action that was actually bigger on a primary move. And notice how the first wave came off, and then we got this A, B, C type of chop back in the pullback wave 2. Okay, so here we've gotten this first wave up, and now we got this sharp pullback in here. So if it does not go below here, then I'm still looking for it to move up and continue a 3rd wave higher. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Got this sharp move down here yesterday, and all of the Chinese stocks were under pressure today because of you know, the news out of China where the flash PMI manufacturing index was below what everybody was expecting it to be, and was just slightly above expansion mode. I think it was like 50.5 or something like that. And if you're over 50, it's considered to be expanding. If it's below 50, it's considered to be contracting. So right now, YOKU has not given us any evidence that says it still wants to go down. I mean, it hasn't taken out this low. Of course, it hasn't taken out this high either. So right now, I'll be watching to see if it turns here and gets a close back above the 10 and tries to go. And so what I'd do is put a little trend line in here that will help us also guide us that it's trying to break out. If it breaks this, and I'll make it green for go. I like to make it green for go and red for danger to the downside. So right now, we'll be watching to see if we get a turn and it starts to approach this trend line to pop it to the upside. Otherwise, on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you get a breakdown, then we are not turning and some kind of continuation is going on. So that's the scenario as we got it played out. We're just going to have to let YOKU show its hand and let us get us a little bit more signals as to which way it wants to go. All right, that's it for tonight. If you felt the video was helpful, or if you were watching it, share it on social media. And if you're watching it anywhere else but my website, head on over to joehenches.net. You see it on the screen here. By the way, I've got this on all my charts because somebody was taking my video and using it in other places and on their website, and you know, they claimed they were promoting me, but they were giving me no credit. Okay, now, so it's like, I don't have a problem with anybody sharing the videos and doing all that kind of stuff, but you know, people are gonna know whose video and website where this is coming from and who I am. So anyway, that's why I'm doing this with the little watermark here on the screen. So, all right, this has been the update for today. We'll be back. I've got another update tomorrow. I think we're going to do Goldman Sachs, First Solar, and Las Vegas Sands. I think that's what I've got on the calendar. And so we're going to target those for tomorrow, and we'll be back with that update. All right, thanks for stopping in. Have a great Friday, everyone. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart.